Lesson 5-1, Graphing Proportional Relationships. Part 1. This example involves graphing proportional relationships. A video game store has a frequent shopper program. You earn 4 points for every video game you buy. Draw a graph to model this situation. You need 48 points for a free game. How many video games do you need to buy to have enough points for a free game? So, what we need to think about is for every game we buy, we earn 4 points. We were told that. For every game we buy, we earn 4 points. Since you can only buy an entire game, it only makes sense to plot the points with the x-coordinate that are whole numbers. So I'm going to take some graphing paper and I'm going to begin graphing. We have a vertical axis, which is known as the y-axis. And we have a horizontal line, which is known as the x-axis. So, what I'm going to use is the x-axis as the games purchased. That's going to be my horizontal axis. My vertical axis, I'm going to let be represented by the total points earned. So my my vertical axis is going to be the total points earned. Now remember, every time you buy one game, you earn 4 points. So let's make us a chart that represents one game representing 4 points. So if I made a chart, one game represents 4 points. 2 games would represent 4 plus 4, or we could say 2 times 4 would be 8. 3 games would be 3 times 4 is 12. 4 games is 4 times 4 is 16. And this chart keeps going on and on. 5 games would be 5 times 4 would be 20. So it's like you're adding 4 each time, or it's like you're saying the number of games times the number of points. So if you got 3 games, that's 3 times 4 is 12. So this is how I would get my points, okay? So, and we could also go back, if you buy 0 games, you have 0 points. So really, this graph would begin at the origin. The origin is where the x and y axis meet. So if I buy 0 games, I have 0 points. All right, if I buy 1 game, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so forth on. Now, think about the total points earned. Well, the only total points you can get, or the amount of points that you get for each game you buy, is 4 points. So we need our vertical axis to be represented by 4s, like 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and so forth on. So if I buy 1 game, I get 4 points. If I buy 2 games, I get 8 points. If I buy 3 games, I get 12 points. I'm plotting my chart. If I buy 4 games, I get 16. And this graph continues on and on and on. Now, what I want us to do is to look at a finished graph. So let's look at this finished graph here. Looking at this one. Looks a little different from mine, but I wanted to expose you to it. Notice that their horizontal axis is even numbers. They skipped 1 and 3 and 5. But that's okay. We know in between 0 and 2 is a 1. In between 2 and 4, in the middle is 3. In between 4 and 6, the middle's 5. Same with their vertical axis. We went by 4s. They're counting by 8s, but that's okay. Halfway in between 0 and 8 is 4. So here's the 0, 0 point. This point is 1, 4. Okay, this point's 2, 8. This point would be 3, and halfway in between 8 and 16, add 4 more, I'd get 12. So this point would be 3, 12, and so forth on. Now, remember, my question was, you need 48 points for a free game. We need 48 points for a free game. Look at the point on the graph until we reach the points earned to be 48 points. Well, if we go up here to 48 points earned, and we go out to where the graph touches it, and we come down, we need to have purchased 12 games in order to get 48 points so that we can buy a video game. So, when the question was asked to us, how many video games do you need to buy to have enough points for a free game, you would need to buy, your answer would be, you would need to buy 12 games. You would need to buy 12 games to have enough to get a free game. So you would need to buy 12 games to get 48 points.